Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome back to Scatter Love Tarot with your girl coming at you with another pick a card reading. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and space with you, and anybody new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. And should these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe down below. And if you are interested in supporting the channel further, check out the description box. It has everything you need, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member on the channel. Also, if you are new here, we do things a little bit different around here, so I suggest you strap in, hang on, and we'll both find out together. Today we are going to do Why Are You Attractive? I'm going to be using the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Oracle by Kim Kranz. And with that, I did not have an incense ready, but I do have them right here. Let us hop into your prayer and we will get this started. Today's reading is going to be a little bit shorter than normal, just due to time constraints on my end. But I still did want to get you out your scheduled content. So we're going to snap to it. And I felt like this was a fitting reading to do on the shorter end. All right. Okay, my beloved source, this prayer is for any and all who come on here, whether it's for the entire time or for just a moment's time. Today I ask that you remind us that no matter how another person looks at us, the only thing that matters is how we see ourselves and how we also see ourselves through your eyes. Recognizing that we are worthy and deserving of unconditional love, and that it is not about our outer being, that it is truly about our heart and what it is that we bring to the table. But sometimes we need that reminder, because sometimes the outer world and all its circumstances become overwhelming, and we really forget how truly valuable and how truly amazing and incredible we are. And so today I ask that you bring forth that reminder, and that you surround any and everyone that's having difficulties at this time, remembering their value and remembering their worth with your healing love, and embrace them with your healing light, and bring them into a space of their internal truth and guidance, and show them the way. Show them the way to their heart, show them the way to their soul, and show them the way to their value. You gave us life, and you promised us with that life that we are worthy of it, and that we're worthy of all good things, and to trust that you are going to bring us to those good things within time. So as these words are spoken unto this tribe and over this reading, so shall they be. Amen. Aho, Aseh. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my beloved source. Thank you. Alright, so let me get this set up and move this out of the way. We'll go ahead and give this a quick shuffle. So source, why are my fellow humans, my tribe, why are they attractive? What oracle cards will help us better understand? Why are my tribe attractive? Why is my tribe attractive? That's what I should say, huh? So source, why are my fellow humans here today attractive? What oracle card will help us better understand that? Thank you. All right. So source, for pile number one, what animal oracle card will help us better understand why pile number one is attractive? Okay. Thank you. And for pile number two, source, what animal oracle card will help us better understand why pile number two is attractive? Why is pile number two attractive? Okay, thank you. Alright, and for pile number three, source, what animal spirit oracle card will help us better understand why is pile number three attractive? Why is pile number three attractive? Thank you. Alright, on the bottom of the deck, collective energy. Haha, Firefly. So when I turned it over, I just kept hearing This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Right? So it's like this energy, you're this beautiful light, and that's what makes you so attractive. And why I say we do things differently on this channel is because we're not necessarily looking at our physical attributes. You know, we fall in love with a soul, not a face. And what Source is bringing out with the Firefly energy here is this reminder that it's your light, it's your glow that is so attractive. And the more that you embrace your glow and who you are and your authenticity, the more people are going to be attracted to you, the more people are going to be magnetized to you, and they're going to want to get to know you on a deeper level. They're going to want to get to know the you that maybe for a long time that you've hidden away from others because of judgment or fear of judgment, or, you know, fear of not being understood is really what's coming through here. Well, let's see here what it says from the book. Now I have that song stuck in my head. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine. Inspired and fantastic, yet fleeting. Let's just talk about that for just a second. Inspired and fantastic, yet fleeting. It's like when you're embracing your authenticity, it's brilliant and it's blinding. But also, being human, we can have a fluctuation of our emotions at any given moment. It is so crazy right now. I wish you could see this, but I can't move the camera. But right now, the incense and the sage in the room, but the incense in and of itself is creating a blanket across the top part of my RV. And it literally is so slow moving, and it's beautiful. It's like fluid and dancing, but to its own rhythm. And that's what I feel like is what Source is saying here, is like you're dancing to your own rhythm. You hear the beat of your own drum, and that's what's guiding you, and that's what's helping to inspire others to do the same. It says the firefly contains the light of 1,000 stars. It's pure, radiant, and illuminating. This higher frequency charge cannot be sustained for long. Therefore, the Firefly card indicates a moment of inspiration or awakening that quickly fades if we do not catch it. There is a Firefly energy behind every poem, song, and invention. Our job is just to be ready to harness this creative spirit. When it graces our path, what can you do to support this precious and elusive light? It says, when in balance, you're a writer, you create, you brainstorm. When out of balance, you feel burnout and dull. To bring into balance, write a poem or draw. And that's what it feels like. It's like a lot of people meet you, but when they're meeting you, it's a very fleeting moment. It's not a guarantee that you're going to be around for a long time. It's not a guarantee that you're always going to be a part of their life. And that is scary. But it's also inspiring because it means that in that moment, you're inspiring them to become the most aligned version of themselves. And what more could we ask for within our lives other than to inspire others to embrace the light within? To come out of the shadow and to come into the light is such a powerful thing. And what a blessing that is, truly. All right, so for pile number 1, we do have this beautiful shell. It's a fossilized shell for you to choose from. We also have this dice with house 5 on it. For pile number 2, we have this beautiful arrowhead. And we have this dice with house 11 on it. For pile 3, we have this beautiful red jasper. We have this dice with house 8. Okay. So we have 1, 2, and 3. And whichever pile you're drawn to, that should be the one for you. And with that being said, I will see you over on your chosen pile. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this beautiful fossilized shell, or if you were drawn to this dice with the 5th house on it, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, then this is going to be a reading on why are you attractive. I do want to say first, thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and space with you. And for those of you new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. And should these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you are truly new here, we do things a little bit different around here. So I suggest you strap in, hang on, and we're going to find out together. So with that, let's go ahead and find out what comes through today. Why is pile number 1 attractive, Source? What messages would you like to pass on? Why is pile number 1 attractive? What would you like to say today, Source? Why is pile number 1 attractive? Okay, so we've got the 4th house, we've got Aquarius energy, and we have Venus. How fitting for Venus to come out in an attraction reading, because it is talking about you are attractive, right? You're a very nurturing individual, very loving person. And also, it's unique how you give love, right? Like, you might not be the same as everyone else, but you're also very kind and generous with your love and willing to give it to those who are deserving of it, right? Like, we're not just out here willy-nilly giving to people who are breadcrumbing us or who are hurting us. But you're someone who generally, everybody you meet, you give love and you give kindness and nurturing to in a very unique way. So it could be that maybe when you go out, you support people without realizing you're supporting people. Or they're showing me like maybe you smile at people and they've been having a terrible day and they don't know if they can smile back. And you just keep smiling your best smile at them. Like, it's okay to smile. And you might even think that within, you know, it's okay to smile. It's okay. It'll help you. And then all of a sudden this person smiles and you see how much it lights them up. Or maybe you give people little notes. Like, I'm seeing someone walking around and leaving little note cards on cars in a parking lot, or positive, uplifting messages, you know, in a... Do phone booths even exist anymore? I don't know if they do. But maybe, you know, like just at the store, you stick little positive notes underneath certain things, or stick them onto bottom of like containers or something like that. It sort of feels like, I do feel like that's something that's really attractive about you, is that people have seen you leave love, but not in a way of like, I'm claiming this, right? I'm not out here trying to get credit for everything that I'm doing. I just want people to feel better. I want people to feel good about themselves. And it could be in any various way that you do that, but it is very unique the way that you do it. It could be on the internet. Maybe you just find videos and you give love. Like, they're showing me like frequency videos. Maybe you comment a lot on frequency videos and you always just say, to whoever's reading this, may blessings and love always find you, or something like that. And that's what makes you really attractive. And it might be odd, right? Like, how do people know that I'm doing that? But it's what fuels the light within you. And if you didn't catch the collective energy at the beginning, I recommend that, because this is definitely playing on that little collective message that came through. But you're also a very beautiful, handsome, good-looking person. And it is like when you have a beautiful heart and you're beautiful on the outside, it's very overwhelming. And a lot of people might be overwhelmed, but this is something that is why you are so attractive. And I feel like this was a design. Source specifically designed you in this way because people needed to remember that even beautiful people have hearts too, and they can be generous and loving and wonderful. And so what really makes you so beautiful is that you're very artistic and pure and unique, and you have this gift of loving people. Even if it's from a distance, they still feel your love. Like, even if you're just saying hello to them, they still feel your love. And that's what makes you so attractive. Let's dig in a little bit deeper. I'm going to be using the Osho Zen Tarot today. I felt like that was a fitting tarot to use with this reading. Alright, Source, why is pile number 1 attractive? What would you like to share with us today? Why is pile number 1 attractive? Maybe like you help people heal from things too. You could have some sort of online business where you help people, or you could be connecting with clients online as well. Source, why is pile number 1 attractive? Okay, thank you. Yeah, you're breaking free from conditioning and embracing your inner child. You're a very fun person. Why is pile number 1 attractive? What would you like to share with us? Okay, you're not afraid to be alone. This is also giving me energy, like maybe you take yourself out on dates by yourself, right? Like, of course, your date with yourself. I don't need anybody around with that. You know, like it's okay for me to take myself out to breakfast or dinner or to the movies. And people see you and you're completely comfortable being there alone. And that is very attractive, right? Because you're not worried whether people are like seeing you being alone or being by yourself. You're not over there like, oh, do people think of me a different way because I'm alone? No, you're like, oh, I'm so glad I get to have this date with myself. I'm so glad I get to be with myself right now. You could also, with the aloneness card, which is the Hermit card here, you could also have determined at some point in your life that maybe relationships just aren't your thing. And you've been vocal about that. And that's something that makes you attractive. You're very unattainable in some way. Look, your existence with the Magician here. What a beautiful energy this is. You're also the embodiment of your shadow. And when I say that, it's because you're fully integrating the shadow work that you've done. And also what I was saying, like that childlike essence that's there. Oftentimes our inner child is shrouded in darkness within the internal darkness. And the only way for us to truly embrace the inner child is by integrating that shadow work and healing the inner child and giving it the love that it didn't get, or reminding it that it's safe, or reminding that inner part of ourselves that, you know, we're here and we can be seen, we deserve to be seen. But your existence, I feel like people have wished for good energy people, and you oftentimes are the person that gets brought around. So maybe you travel a lot. You don't have to. Or maybe you just go out and do a lot of different things, and people are really glad because it's like, man, I'm so glad I met pile 1 because I asked for someone to come in that was just a beautiful person, and you're the embodiment of that. And it also makes you highly attractive. And that's what I'm saying, like, we're not looking at necessarily your physical attributes, and Source is really pointing out that this has nothing to do with how you look physically. This has everything to do with what you're embodying at this moment. We have the Queen of Swords here. What I was saying, like, you're very vocal about something here. Maybe you're very vocal about not wanting a relationship, or very vocal about certain practices that you have in your life, or it's just the way that you talk to people. You're also not afraid to say it like it is. So, like, if someone's being crude to you, or rude, mean, unjustified, Like, you will say something when it's called for, but I also feel like you're not afraid to just stay in silence when necessary. Like, there's not always a need to say something, and sometimes there is a need to say something, and you found a really good balance between those things, and that is something that makes you incredibly attractive. On the bottom, we have the miser, which is the 4 of coins. Interesting energy to come out, right? But I actually really love this picture on here for you, pile 1, because that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like you're very artistic, or you're like the way you dress or the way that you present yourself. You're not just the average person who wears the same thing all the time, or, you know, people have a certain style. I feel like you're always changing up your style. One day you might be in jeans, but the next day you might show up in a formal gown or a tuxedo just for the sake of wearing it, like to say, I wanted to wear this today. And that's what I feel like when I say you're connected to your inner child, like that same thing. It wouldn't surprise me if someday you woke up and you're like, I'm a superhero, and you go in with a cape and a little superhero mask, and you're like, guess what? I'm here to save the day, y'all. Dun, da, da, da. It wouldn't surprise me if you were like that, because that's how connected you are to your inner child, or how much you're uncovering your inner child. And that's what I feel with the miser. That's the energy that I'm getting here. It's like, you don't care what people think of you and how you're dressing. You dress because that's what you feel like you want to wear that day. It's not about how, oh my gosh, like I have to blend in. Oh my gosh, I have to make sure I don't stand out. Like, you're just like, look, I really feel like wearing this zebra print cape today because it feels good, and you will. And people are like, oh wow. But it's like your charm, and it's part of you, and it's, people just love it. They're like, wow, look at you. I used to go to school way back in high school with this kid. His name, I believe it was Bo, if I'm remembering. This is way back when. I loved Bo. Everybody loved Bo. But he would continuously come in with a different pair of fluffy slippers on, different animal print shirts, and just like, he was wild, and he always did something different with his hair, and he would have different colored sunglasses that he would wear, and he was just an essence. And I feel like that's you. You're just an essence. Like, it's like you are here to enjoy life, and you're going to enjoy it, and you're not going to worry about whether or not people are going to accept you based on some clothes, or based on, you know, the fact that you choose to be authentic to yourself. And so that's what makes you so attractive. I mean, entirely. It's a thing. I'm not surprised that Aquarius came out in your reading because of that. Okay, what flipped over here? Look at this. We've got North Node. It flipped over. It totally went down on the seat here. Destined to have. Like, you're walking in your power. Yeah, and I feel like maybe for a time, it wouldn't surprise me, Pile 1, if some point in your past you were very rigid. Especially with the Queen of Swords here, even though it's not the King of Swords, but with the Queen of Swords here, that energy, like, you might have been very rigid with the way that you had to appear. And now you're very loose with your appearances, and you're very much in this energy of, like, if I want to wear it, I'm going to wear it. And I'm not going to worry about what people are saying. If I want to sing a song, I'm going to sing a song. If I want to listen to a certain type of music, I'm going to listen to that certain type of music. If I want to study something, I'm going to study something. It's come down to this place of asking yourself, what does Pile 1 want? And then answering that and listening to that answer and trusting that answer for what it's worth. Not like, oh my gosh, I'm too old to do this anymore. And that's what sometimes happens with our inner child, is it gets lost in chaos because we're saying we have to adult. But adulting and shutting our inner child out are actually two completely different actions. And adulting has nothing to do with us embracing our inner child. But somewhere along the way, we've convinced ourselves that it does. And it doesn't at all. But anyways, you're walking in your North Node. And that's what makes you highly attractive right now. Yeah, we've got air energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Again, with Aquarius, like I said, you could be Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. You could have Pluto in Aquarius that's coming through really strongly right now. Ninth house in Aquarius. Okay. You could have 11th house in Pisces. That's coming in. That's a really strange one coming through. We're just going to go with it. Open-mindedness, objectivity, and learning. And I feel like you're the person who doesn't judge anybody because you've been judged so much in your life. And that's another thing that makes you really attractive. Like, people feel like they can come to you. They can trust you with their things. Yeah, look, Cancer, come back out. Nurture, comfort, and protection. You're a very nurturing person. You make people feel seen and heard and protected and accepted. Why is pile number 1 so attractive? Happiness. You're happy. Look at this. We've got, I am aware that being happy means that I am on the right path. Yeah, you've opened your heart chakra and you found your essence and you've tapped into that. So I'm saying, like, you're just an essence. There's something about you. Like, you stand in that. You're a vibe, right? You're a total vibe. Humor. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. Why is this not surprising either? So definite heart chakra energy coming in with both of these. You laugh. You have fun. You are someone who people want to be around because you have this lighthearted energy about you. Like, it's a beautiful thing. Why is pile number 1 attractive, source? Okay, on the bottom of this, we've got boundaries. Set clear boundaries with people when their behavior is unacceptable. Look at this horse is biting this other horse. Bam! You know, like, that's just it. You're totally peaceful until you have to be very stern. And a lot of green coming through again. Like, most people feel your love. And it's rare when someone feels your bite. But it's there when it's necessary. And you're not afraid to do that either. And so that's something that makes you very attractive. I didn't know what to expect with this reading, but I'm really glad. I never know what to expect with any of the questions I ask, but I'm really glad. Look, this card, I love this card, the Divine. The Divine is sending you love and support. Better days are coming. And that's the thing. I feel like you're so tapped into Source and so tapped into your guides and your guidance system and to spirit. And you're this essence of unconditional love. And of course, we're always getting better at expressing unconditional love and becoming what that is. But I do feel like that's it. Like, you're very accepting of everybody, but you're not afraid to tell the truth to people when they need to hear it, or even when they think they don't need to hear it, but they definitely do. You know, like, you're just very stable and connected to yourself and connected to your path. 4 is a very powerful number for you. You might see 444 a lot. 4 is all about strength, structure, stability, foundation. So you have a very strong foundation and trusting yourself. Choose foods wisely. Okay. Help yourself and the planet by reconsidering what you eat. So something that might make you attractive is your body. Okay. With this choose foods wisely, but it could be that maybe you've chosen a life of like, what is it? Pescatarian or vegetarian or vegan, or you know, like maybe you don't eat a lot of red meat or anything like that. And it's a choice that you made. And you're, again, very vocal about that. And so it's something that also makes you attractive because it's something that you've chosen to stand by. Really, pile 1, the main thing that makes you so attractive is because you stand by your beliefs. You're not letting people deter you from what you believe in or how you feel about the things that you do or the things you get involved in. And that's an incredibly attractive trait. It's powerful, right? So we're going to get some of these from the Divine Astro deck that I have here. All right, Source, why is pile number 1 attractive? What else would you like to say? Whoa, thank you. On the bottom of the deck, we've got the 12th house, rest and rejuvenate. And didn't I say you might have... No, was it the 11th house in Pisces? Yeah, I think it was the 11th house in Pisces. You can have the 12th house Aquarius. I don't know if I said that or not. I could have. but you also take time to rest when necessary, right? And that's another thing that makes you attractive. Like, you're not out here trying to bust your butt for no reason, right? It's like, I'm going to do what I need to when I need to, but I'm also not going to overexert myself just for the sake of being busy. So if you have a 9 to 5, right, you're not looking busy for the sake of being busy. If a boss comes by and you have nothing to do, you're going to be the person that tells them, they're going to be like, why aren't you doing anything? You're like, because I'm done with everything. And they're going to be like, but still, and you're like, oh no, that's not my job description. I did what was in my job description. And now I don't have anything to do. So I'm going to sit here until I have something to do. I'm not going to create something to do just so that you feel better about me not having anything to do. That's what I really feel about you, Pile 1. Like, you're not afraid to tell people stuff like that. And I feel like if you've told bosses that before, they don't come back again after that. They're like, well, technically that's true because we never said in the job description you have to look busy, right? That's just other people's worries about seemingly like, oh, I'm not doing anything or I've got nothing going on. When work's done, it's done. Why do I need to continue to create work and chaos for myself when it's done? So that's something that's attractive about you. Flow. Yeah, you go with the flow. Oh, I love this. And you speak your truth too. This is an energy between the heart chakra and the throat chakra. So you definitely speak your truth, but you go with the flow. You know, very fluid, very unique. You're, like I said, like you very much stand out, but you're not denying any part of yourself. And that's something that's incredibly attractive. New opportunities is number 5. Some exciting new opportunities are coming for you. I feel like, isn't this interesting? 4 and 5, like you're always changing because you're always focusing on you and your growth and that integration of the inner child. And you might be looking younger and younger every day because of that. Leo, confidence is key and confidence is sexy. So you could be a Leo or have Leo highly aspect in your chart. You have Leo in the 12th house as well. That's coming through. Let's see what we've got here. Cardinal, bright new beginnings ahead. Yeah, with opportunities. What a synchronicity right there. I love that. Thank you so much, Source. Yeah, so you're always got something new going on and you're not afraid to embark on new beginnings. So something that makes you very attractive is the fact that you're ready to face the unknown whenever. Energy. Look. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Source. Thank you so much for this confirmation. You're a vibe, Pile 1. That's what you are. You're a vibe. It's like your whole essence, but it's your energy. It has to do with your energy and how you present yourself to people on the regular. Okay, let's take a look at your card. I'm going to read this from the book. The oyster. I just like the world is your oyster. And I feel like you live and embody that. The whole world is my oyster. And I'm going to keep showing that. And you're the one that's creating pearls. Love's like sand making pearls. And I've got all the time in the world. All the time in the world. Yeah. Patient. Secret keeper. Hiding inner treasures. The focus and determination of the oyster is unmatched. Anything an oyster personality puts their mind to, they achieve with grace and charm. Didn't I say, like, it's a part of your charm? So you're a very charming person. The only problem is oyster types often take their inner gifts for granted. They become shy or doubtful, and this can lead to withdrawing or protecting their deepest desires in life's work. When the oyster card appears, it's important to reveal your inner treasures. What is it you've been hesitant to share? The world is waiting to see. So when in balance, feels blessed, generous, and masterful. When out of balance, you're reluctant, griping, or clamming up. To bring into balance, share something. And I feel like this is so telling because that's what I was feeling earlier. Like maybe you were scared about the way that you wanted to be, you know, expressing yourself in the world because you're afraid of how people were going to take it. And there's something about you now where you're becoming less and less afraid of expressing yourself and understanding and knowing that I have to embrace myself and how I want to express myself because I'm tired of hiding. And you're becoming more confident because you're letting yourself be seen more and more. And this is why you're incredibly attractive. I loved your reading, pile number 1. Thank you so much for letting me connect with you in this way. If you felt like this was your reading, leave a little oyster, which I do know there is one, an oyster emoji down below, and say, I open up and let people see the hidden gem within me, knowing that it is my right to express this in the world. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. If you're interested in supporting the channel further, check out the description box. It has everything you need, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member. And with that, I do want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this incredible message. And until next time, pile number 1, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this beautiful arrowhead, or if you were drawn to this dice with the 11th house on it, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, then this is going to be a reading on why are you attractive. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and space with you. And for anybody new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. And should these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And also, if you are new here, we do things a little bit differently around here, so I suggest you buckle up, hold on, and we'll find out together. So with that, let's hop to it and find out. Why is pile number 2 attractive, Source? What messages would you like to bring forth? Why is pile number 2 attractive, Source? What would you like to say today? Why is pile number 2 attractive? Oh, we've got the sun, we've got the 2nd house, and we've got Aquarius energy. I'm not surprised. Aquarius came out in pile 1 too. Also, it was interesting. I was getting how creative you were before I even started. And with the sun coming out, it just reminded me of that channeled message coming through as well. But creativity kept coming up when I was prepping for your pile. So what makes you so attractive is just how creative you are. And the fact that the 2nd house came up here is the fact that you see your self-worth. That's what makes you incredibly attractive, pile number 2. And I will just mention this quickly since we're here, is that we're not necessarily looking into physical attributes today, because that's not my intention going into this. This is literally about you as a whole, which means your energy, your light, how you put yourself forward, okay? You're also very unique, and I feel like you're also detached from outcomes. So you don't put a lot of pressure on people. You're not over here like expecting people to do whatever role it is that they might have in your life. So say you have people who come in and they want to be your friend. Well, you're not expecting them to be a friend. You're also not pressuring them into being a friend. You just simply show up as yourself, and you keep communicating as long as they communicate. And I feel like because of that, you have had a lot of friendships blossom. Connected with a lot of like-minded people. You're someone who will always show up. If someone shows up, you're going to show up. But you're going to put in the amount of effort that another person does. So if someone says, hello, how are you? You're going to say, I'm good. How are you? But if that's where it stops, you're not going to go out of your way like, hey, where'd you go? What's going on? You're really just going to let it stop there, right? Or if someone's breadcrumbing you, you're going to breadcrumb them right back. Like, you're not someone who's just going to do it for the sake of doing it, right? You're literally like, I'm going to put in the amount of effort that you're going to put in. And when people don't put in a lot of effort and they realize that they're not going to get a lot of effort from you, they usually fall off. They usually go silent. And you're okay with that. You're not over here begging for people to be in your life. And that makes you incredibly attractive. You're very confident, very clear on who you are, very stable with your view on life, but also how you see yourself in this life. You're very clear on that. And you're always showing up in that clarity. And it's very powerful. It can be a little intimidating as well, but more than anything, it's just very bright and warm, and people resonate with that and they want to come closer to that. And I feel like there's a lot of people who want to be in your energy as well. So we're going to be using the Osho Zen Tarot today to get some further insight here. See what comes through. All right, Source. I feel like you're also a fighter, and you maybe have shared your story with others and how that's helped you grow, how that's helped you shift your perspective on yourself, your perception on yourself. Sorry, and how it shifted your perspective on the world. There we go. And I feel like you've been seen recently even as a leader, if not your whole life, but definitely recently there's this energy coming in where you stepped up into being a true leader, and people really come to you for advice. They come to you for wisdom, and that's something that makes you attractive as well, because people are seeing the process. You have become the testimony of the process. So you're sharing, this is something that I went through that was a hardship. This is something that I have overcome. And they're seeing that as something like, okay, I can overcome this too. We've got Beyond the Illusion, which is actually the Judgment card right now, flipping over. But that's it. You see Beyond the Illusion. You're not held back by the past. You're not held back by people who maybe are very unkind to you, or who maybe you've triggered in some way, shape, or form just by being you. So I do feel like you trigger a lot of people just by being you. And maybe in your past, there was a lot of drama, and you definitely aided the drama by trying to stand up for yourself or defend yourself or just trying to be heard. And it feels like there was a big switch, a 180, where now you're recognizing that I don't have to explain myself or who I am or what I'm doing to anybody. They either get it or they don't. And that's what I feel like is so attractive to you as well, because you're very detached from the situation when maybe at one point you're very much holding on to, I need to be seen, I need to be heard, I need to be acknowledged by others. Rather, now you're in the business of acknowledging yourself. Yeah, you've definitely grown consciously. So you're very wise, and I feel like your third eye is blasted open. You may have had at one point a very rude awakening on your journey. So when you came from being asleep to waking up into the consciousness journey, I feel like at one point there was something that really just kicked you in the rear end and said, okay, it's time to be awake now. And it really made you see a lot of the ways that you were showing up in the past. And so people who see you now, you are entirely different. People who've known you before, you're entirely different. And so what makes you so attractive is that you trust, not blindly, but in a way it is blindly. You're blindly trusting Source to take you where you need to go. You have such a resolve in your faith, right? Like, I have faith that everything that I'm doing is right for me, and I have faith that I'm going to get to where I need to go, and I have faith that I'm protected and that I don't have to do anything. I just have to do what I'm asked to do, right? But I don't have to convince anybody. I don't have to fight anybody. I just show up and do what I'm asked to do, and I'm going to get there. And that faith it's contagious. People want to know, how are you so faithful? Like, how are you someone who built so much strength in that trust of the unknown? But it's because it really feels like at one point, Pile 2, you had this crazy awakening. Like, you went to bed as one person and you woke up the next morning as an entirely different person, and it was something like that. And it felt, or it could, and this could be triggering to some, so I'm just gonna say that right now, but it could have been like a near-death experience as well, or something very sad happened, or something very heavy happened to you, and it really forced you into waking up to this consciousness that you're growing and expanding now. Yeah, I feel like at a point in time you were definitely this person who played the politics of life. with the Seven of Swords here, you may have worn a very big mask. And I feel like it's not that you were a bad person. That's not what this is saying. That's not what I'm saying. I feel like you've always been a good-natured person at your core. You could have a Leo in your chart, though. There could have been some essence of, I need to be seen by everybody. I need to be the center of attention. And I'm going to do anything to get there. And that might have been why I was like, you were brought to this consciousness and this awakening with Beyond Illusion. You one day woke up and you saw like, wow, I was really, or maybe you were really obsessed with finances or material things, or, you know, those things that hold us to the 3D realm, and the things that we, until we know, we believe they're all that there is. It could even be love or something like that, or having the essence of a relationship without love, right? And it feels like there was something very material here that was holding you here in the 3D realm. And it was something that you were very much identified with. And people have seen you go from identifying with whatever that was to now being completely unbothered, unworried about wherever things are going to go. You're just like, cool, I'm just going to trust that I'm going where I need to, and finding happiness because of that, because you're not, and I'm just going to use money as the example here because it's the one that I feel is the most here for most of you, but it doesn't have to be. Just take it with, and put it with your situation. But for simplicity's sake, we're just going to use money as the example. So say you were just worried about money, you identified with money, you thought I had to have a fat bankroll in order to be seen and appreciated in life, and that was all you identified with, and maybe you were able to reach that, but I do feel like at points it was taken away from you. And so there's this essence of being humbled, or this energy of being humbled. Like you got there, it was taken away. You got there, it was taken away. You got there, it was taken away. And then one day it was like a kick in the rear where, oh my gosh, this thing that I've been holding on to, in this case, the example of money, it's not that big of a deal. Yes, the whole world exists on it, but it's not as deep as I've been making it. It's simply just a tool. And again, take it for whatever it is that you were holding on to so deeply, but that's what I'm getting with this card here. Yeah, we've got the World card coming out. Wow, this is so powerful. Yeah, it's like the pieces finally fell into place for you, and that's when the awakening happened. And this is what makes you so attractive, is because before there was a lot of emotional ego at play, and now your spirit is singing through your day-to-day, and it's like calling people home to themselves. Because if pile 2 can let go of the identity of money and free themselves from the hold that it had on them, then I can let go of the material, physical things that have been holding me, and I can be free of them too. And so you're inspiring others to come closer to spirit. You're inspiring others to come closer to love and to light. And that's why you're so attractive. Wow, this is a very powerful pile. All right, Source, what else would you like to share today? Thank you. Why is pile number 2 attractive, Source? What would you like to share today? Why is pile number 2 attractive? Whoa. Okay, this one flipped over. We have fixed energy here. Stability, persistent, loyalty, and dependability. And now, that's the other thing too. Like, you're very loyal to this journey now. And maybe before you were okay, so they're showing me that you were a bit of a flake. What's standing out here? Courage. Yeah, courage to find a way to grow in a situation that was otherwise dead end, right? There wasn't something that was fruitful, but you somehow made it fruitful. So I do feel like at one point maybe you were a little bit of a flake in your life, or a flake when it came to certain journeys in your life. And now you're very stable to this one journey about connecting with Source, connecting with your guides, connecting with your spiritual self. And people find that incredibly attractive because you don't deter from that now. Okay, we've got, yeah, Taurus energy. Look, trust, patience, and sensuality. You're also very tapped into the divine feminine within you. And it doesn't matter what you identify with, if you're a man or if you're a woman. This is just saying, like, you're very much in that feminine, receptive energy, ready to receive your blessings, knowing that they're rightfully yours. And that's beautiful energy to be in. Why is pile number 2 attractive, Source? Look, courage coming out again. Oh my goodness. We gotta find the inner strength to face the fear with confidence. And you're being so confident. 1 second. There was another dog walking by. But this, we had that and it was peeking out right here. We just saw it. I'm going to leave it out like this because I feel like it wants to be seen, which in this deck, it is the strength card, but it doesn't mirror the Tarot Marseille. This mirrors the Rider-Waite-Smith as it's in number 8. But in the Tarot Marseille, it is the number 11, which is a very spiritual number. And 8 is all about clearing out your karmic energies so that you can bring in your abundance. And with this courage coming out twice, so that's something that makes you really attractive, is your courage, right? The courage to change who you once were. The person that you always knew, and that could have to do with this 7 of Swords energy here, politics energy. Someone that you never thought you would be different than, and you changed that. Yeah, adversity. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. And you face adversity head on. And that's something that makes you really attractive. Okay, Source. Why is pile number 2 attractive? Thank you. On the bottom, we've got intermittent fasting. I don't know why this guy, he looks like Charlie Chaplin to me. Heal your body with fasting. Your body has an inbuilt intelligence and it can detox and heal itself. So maybe you've changed the way that you are to, like, you've really taken care of your health. You've worked out. You've mutated. What is it? Transmutated? No. Well, you could be doing transmutation. Is that right? I don't know. Hold on. I just confused myself. Just a second. Let me come back to what I was trying to say. Transformed. I don't know why I was like saying that. Anyways, you transformed yourself. Shape-shifting. I think that's what was really trying to come out, but I was just, I don't know. I'm human too, y'all. I'm human too. I think you've definitely shape-shifted. Though you don't look the same. Like, maybe you haven't lost any weight or gained any weight, but I feel like you don't look the same. And you could be just really connecting with that spiritual essence, and that's letting go of all that heavy weight from having to be, feel, think, or expend energy in a certain way because society says this is who we have to be. Right? So, Source, why is pile number 2 attractive? Yeah, transmutation, right? Like, that's, like, they talk about sexual transmutation. Yeah, okay. So I thought, it was like, maybe you transmutated your energy into your body, and it has really, I don't know, like, that's what I keep getting. Like, maybe you're working with transmutation, right? It's like taking energy and focusing it into a single point, and that single point becomes what you're manifesting in life. So maybe you wanted to manifest a different look or a different version of yourself. Choose foods wisely. This came out in pile 1 too. Interesting. We've got 53 here with 8. We have 7 on the bottom, 61. But look at these. These are 2 different decks. Look at the colors. There's something about finding your truth and really choosing to follow your gut here, right? Your solar plexus chakra is coming through, but to really follow the gut instinct that you had. Well, maybe you have actually healed your gut. Maybe you were having problems with your gut before. That seems kind of strange. Like, why would that make you attractive? But I think that it's helped you let go of a lot of toxins. And because of that, okay, so I'm just going to say this right now. There was a glitch in the system because there's a wax and wash van. It's a one-man show. He drove by. He waxes the RVs here. He drove by. I put that deck down and I looked back and he was driving by again in the exact same location that I saw him drive by the first time. That was a serious glitch that just happened. Whoa. So it's like maybe you're getting a redo. Like you're getting a redo when it comes to your body or your health, or and the second time around you chose to really focus on what was going to be of your highest good. And that's something that makes you attractive. It's the energy that's coming through. Ooh, we have air energy. Take a bird's eye view. Birds in the sky, you know how I feel. Right? Who sings that song? River running by, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. I don't remember who sings that song. Anyways, if you know, put it in the comments down below. But that's what it feels like. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. You're getting a redo. You tried this all once before and you had success, but I feel like this was playing a part in that. You were still wearing a mask. And what makes you attractive now is that whatever your first initial attempt at this was, you put down the mask and now you're doing it from a very humble, pure place. And you're seeing it from this higher perspective. Yeah, you're getting a redo. What? That's so cool. I love that. Thank you, Source. On the bottom of the deck, we've got the 12th house. I can't. You probably, most likely, not all of you came from pile number 1 because this came out in pile number 1. But rest and rejuvenate. Like, you've taken time to take care of yourself. Self-care is a huge part of your journey. Also, you could have some very psychic ability, and that's coming out as well here with the 12th house. And I feel like that's another thing that makes you very attractive is your psychic abilities. Alright, so Source, what makes pile number 2 attractive? What else would you like to share with us today? Oh, I loved your pile so much. Pile 2 is so good. So many synchronicities. Source doing what Source always does. All the things that just leave us completely speechless. And you're like, good one, Source. On the bottom, pain. I really felt like this card was going to come out when I was getting ready for your pile, and it did. And I think that's so crazy. Because the thing is like, you've healed from a lot. You've healed from so much pain, so much agony, so much strife in your life. And that also makes you really attractive. And you might be like, what the heck? But we got the adversity card. Look, and under that, we've got the forgiveness card. And empathy under that. That's the thing. The thing that really makes you incredibly attractive, pile number 2, is the fact that you've been through so much. And that's why I feel like you're getting a redo. Because you deserve a redo. Like, you had so much happen to you when you were maybe growing the first time that it was like one thing after the other. And I don't even think, like, you know, well, Source sees all potentials, but I feel like this was that one life where it was like, it was the lowest vibration of all lives. And so it was bound to happen in this life. And of course it has its purpose. But it's like Source knew that if this was the life that was going to happen in, that you were automatically going to get a retry. Not at life, but at being a better version of yourself. Not because you're a bad person or anything, but because everything that happened to you, it kind of like knocked you off the wagon. And you had to get back up and dust yourself off, but you really flew. You didn't get knocked off the wagon. You got thrown off the wagon and you flew a couple of miles down the road, and it feels like you had to start all over again. And Source is like, don't worry, I got you. Right? But you survived the pain of all that stuff that happened to you, and that makes you absolutely incredibly attractive because you're still this beautiful person. And most people are like, I would never be the kind person that pile 2 is after having dealt with all that. Didn't I say in the beginning that maybe you share your story? So I do feel like you share your story. If not, like you have shared your story and that has inspired others. Yeah, grow and expand. So something that's really attractive about you is the fact that you never gave up on your faith. Like even when you got thrown from the wagon, you're still like, cool, I still got faith. Like I still trust that this is a part of the process. You still dusted yourself off, spit out the dust, and got it out of your eye and walked ahead blurry all crazy for a little while, but you got there and you did it, you know? Last quarter moon, tie up the loose ends. Yeah. This is about the integration between the light and the shadow, but what it has done for you is really let go, right? The karmic cycles. You're really letting go of the things that aren't serving you. Feeling bad about yourself. Spend time with people who are kind to you. You didn't have time to feel bad about yourself. That's what I'm saying. Like, people who would have gone through what you went through, they would have felt bad about themselves. They would have stopped. They wouldn't have continued on their journey. They'd have been like, oh, poor me. My life is so terrible. And you're like, well, man, that sucked. Okay, well, I'm just going to try again. Hopefully this time's better. And I feel like you just always were positive about it. But it's like this time around, you're no longer attached to anything that had to do with the whole time you were doing it the first time around. I hope that made sense. No guts, no glory. Be brave, go and do what you want to do. Yeah. And there's no question about it. Like, you know what you want to be. You know what you want to do in this life. There's never been any question. Like, once you found your purpose, there was no question. But I do feel like your purpose has sent you down some really crazy roads for sure. No. This came out pile number 1, too. Oh my gosh, it's your energy. It wouldn't surprise me if this came out for all 3 piles today, but it's the truth. It's your energy is what makes you so attractive. But your energy, we see the process as to what your energy has been through, what you've been through to get you to this point. So let's take a look at this card. I'm going to read this from the book, The Lizard. Yeah, you're psychic for sure. For sure with Lizard here. Oh my gosh, I love this for you. All right, Lizard. Where you at, Lizard? Where you at? Come here, Lizard. If I ever got a lizard, that's what I'd name him. Lizard. For the sake of naming it Lizard. Okay, it says you're instinctual, sensitive to the subtle, and the dreamer. Did I not say you follow your gut? Instinctual, that's what it is. That gut feeling, like I feel it in my bones. That's what you do. It says the lizard is an expert in the realm of sensory perception, as if it has a sixth sense. The lizard hears what is yet to be spoken and sees what is yet to manifest. Although this is an amazing gift, it can easily wear the lizard down. Big crowds, lots of travel, or overstimulation will drain a lizard of their magical essence. This card is an indication to pull back from bright lights and big city and return to the inner artist who's been whispering your name. When in balance, you're artistic, telepathic, and spiritual. Yeah, your spiritual energy is next level, pile 2. When out of balance, you can be elusive, non-committal, and flaky. What? Did I say that on your reading? What? Thank you so much, Source. Thank you. To bring into balance, do a creative project. Oh my jeebus. Literally. Holy Toledo. Your reading, pile 2, is next level. What? Oh, I love this for you. I really do. I really love this reading for you. This is next level. I loved reading this for you. I have to leave it there, though, because that's it. That's it. Source brought it full circle here. Brought it full circle. Alright, pile 2. If you felt like this was your reading, is there a lizard emoji down below? I don't know. If not, leave the snake emoji, because at least I know there's a snake emoji, but shoot for the lizard, okay? Or the gecko, maybe? Yeah, so shoot for one of those, leave it down below, and say, I tune in to my sensory powers, and I trust my gut, and I let my faith lead me to my internal home. And if it resonated with you, it means so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe down below. If you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member here on the channel. And with that being said, I do want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides, all for coming together to give us this incredibly cool, powerful message. And until next time, pile number 2, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this beautiful piece of red jasper, if you were drawn to this dice with the 8th house on it, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, then this is going to be a reading on why are you attractive. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and space with you. And for anybody new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. And should these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Also, if you are new here, we do things a little bit differently around here, so I just suggest buckling in, holding on, and we're going to find out together. So with that, let's hop to it and find out, why is pile number 3 attractive? Source, what would you like to share with us today? Why is pile number 3 attractive? What would you like to bring forth? Why is pile number 3 attractive? So we've got the 3rd house, we've got Uranus energy, and we've got Taurus. Welcome back, Uranus. We've got Taurus. Okay, it's the way you communicate. And it's interesting, we did have Aquarius, Aquarius energy came out in all of them, and Uranus is tied to Aquarius here. So a lot of unique energy throughout this reading, which makes so much sense. But honestly, pile 3, and I love that you got the 3rd house for pile 3. Another synchronicity here, but it's the way that you think, the way that you see life, the way that you observe all of life around you and communicate that out into this existence. So it wouldn't surprise me if many of you had maybe a blog, or you use social media as a way to share your insight with others, or maybe you have a podcast or something along those lines. If you don't, that's okay. If you were thinking about starting one, then that's a green light that yes, this is the go ahead to do so, okay? But if not, don't worry about it. I'm just saying that's for a very specific message, and it does feel like there's a lot of you on here that do have some sort of medium where you connect with others in that way, where you're sharing your wisdom, sharing your knowledge, and that's something that makes you incredibly attractive. But it's also just the way you see the world. I don't feel like you realize how unique you are. I don't feel like you know just how different, not as in ostracizing yourself, but just different your worldview is. You see so much from this high perspective, and it really leaves a lot of people speechless. You are also someone who's very loyal, and you're resilient, and you, every time you get knocked down, you get back up again. Why do I hear that song? I get knocked down, but I can get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down. Is that Smash Mouth? Oh my Jeeves. Oh my Jeeves. Okay, this reading has been next level. Next level. Yeah, like, you're a very resilient person, and people have seen you get knocked down, and they've seen you never stop. They've seen you get kicked when you were down, and you still laughed it off, brushed yourself off, and got back up, and basically was like, you ain't gonna keep me down. That other song by, what is it, in All Dogs Go to Heaven is coming through too. Can't keep a good dog down. So, yeah, like, no one can keep you down. And maybe that's the thing, like, people who were haters, maybe now they're attracted to you too, because, like, they tried to keep you down, and you basically, like, go ahead and try, but it ain't gonna work. I'm too good for that. You know, I'm too resilient. I got too much perseverance for that. And I feel like you have been really disconnected from your soul tribe for a long time. But pile 3, I also feel like you're about to connect with the people who you're meant to connect with, or you're starting to. You're starting to connect with people who get you, who understand you, who see you. And it's making sense now as to why all those people did what they did before. You're like, oh, I get it now. Like, I get why you all hated me, or I get why you all had a problem with me. And knowing that actually makes you attractive as well, because you understand it. You understand it. Does it make it all right? No. No, it doesn't make it all right that they treated you that way, but you also aren't holding a grudge against them for treating you that way. You're just moving on. It's like, I don't want to deal with the drama. I'm just moving on. But you're also sharing with others who want to hear what you have to say, the lessons that you learned from that. And you're very stable and rooted in who you are. And that's what makes you so attractive. Why you are so attractive, if you will. And I'm just going to say, because I forgot to when we got into the dice reading, but I'm going to say now, also we're using the Osho Zen Tarot to get some further insight. But we're not looking at physical attributes today. I rarely ever do when I do these readings. It's more about who you are as a complete person. We are so much more than how we physically look. Just feel like I need to put that out there. Yeah, you're always fighting. And not only are you always fighting, you're letting go. It feels like a very big conundrum. People are kind of confused, scratching their heads. Like, how is pile number 3 always fighting, but they're at the same time gracefully letting go of what doesn't serve them? But they're still fighting, but they're still letting go. Like, you very much go back and forth between these two energies. It's like whichever one feels like you need to be in today, that's the one you're in. And I feel like you're also, like, let people go from the past who thought you weren't ever going to let them go. And that's actually really attractive to a lot of people, because people who saw that you were maybe putting up with things that you didn't deserve, or people that were, you know, careless with you, that makes you attractive because you're seeing your worth, which we see here with the Taurus energy. Why is pile number 3 attractive? Interesting. And also, if you watched all 3 piles, leave a purple heart down below. That's my Purple Heart Club. And just say I made it. I know what that means. I really do appreciate you. And for anybody who spends any amount of time with me, I really appreciate you guys so much. Okay, so we've got, wow, yeah, you've been through a lot. With the 10 of Wands here and suppression energy. You know, the 10 of Wands in the Tarot Marseille talks about having a friend who's like your ride or die. You go through everything together. You're thick or thin. And I feel like in this, your ride or die has been Source. Like, it hasn't been an actual person that is like, I'm going to go to the ends of the earth with you and back. And maybe some of you do have a ride or die like that. But I feel like what makes you so attractive is that there's been so much that's happened to you. Like, it could have been one thing after the other. So say if you were posting on social media, maybe it was like you were posting back-to-back situations that were happening and people were seeing that, and or they were seeing how people were putting you down, maybe back-to-back people. So you might not have said anything at all, pile 3. You could have just been worrying about your journey, and they could have seen how people who were claiming to be your friends now all of a sudden were your sworn enemies and saying stuff about you, and how you never said anything about them. And that's something that made you attractive, is because you weren't out here to try to put people down. Like, you weren't out here to try to make people feel bad about anything. You were just like, can't you just leave me alone and let me focus on my journey? But I feel like a lot of those people were very triggered by your authentic energy and by your ability to influence others. And they tried to put you down because they didn't want to see you succeed. But now that's their biggest thing, is that they're going to have to watch you succeed. And on top of that, they're going to have to watch you succeed with grace, where I feel like maybe they told others that you were someone who's very arrogant or very stuck up or you're very egotistical, and that you were just going to rub it in everybody's face. But now you're succeeding, and I feel like you're doing it quietly, and people are like, so why isn't pile 3 rubbing it in all our faces like you said that they would? And they're over there completely confused because they really thought this is how you were going to act, or they were doing it to make themselves feel better. Now see, with this Queen of Swords energy, do you feel like you've had to cut out a lot of people from your life? And every time you had to cut somebody out for just cause, they would turn around and try to hurt you. But it also brought you to this place of seeing the whole picture. And, you know, even if we break a vase, no matter what, we glue it back together, the cracks will still show. But we can make it more beautiful than it once was. And I feel like you filled all your cracks in your soul with gold and with light and with love. And you're accepting yourself in a way that you weren't able to before. And maybe before, your flaws worried you. Or you were worried how people were going to see you, and now you're not. Now you see yourself as this complete whole being, and that self-acceptance is helping others to come into a place of seeing themselves as a whole complete being. And people, when they're with you, pile 3, they feel like the whole world is full of possibilities because of the way you see the world. There is no... When people are like, there's no option, and you're like, of course there's an option. There's always an option. And you might come up with 3 or 4 options. You might only have one option, but it's still an option. You're reminding people there's always a way out from the hardships. There's always a way out from things that are suppressing us. There's always a way out from things that are keeping us bogged down. And that's what's so attractive about you, is that it's like no matter how hard life has been, you're still this positive force trying to lift others up. And I feel like for the majority of you in pile 3, you have been very alone at doing this. And that's why with Uranus coming out here, I do feel like soon there's going to be connection with like-minded individuals in your tribe, your soul tribe, but there's going to be this huge change. Ultimately, you're the one that changed so much. You're not the same, but I feel like you are the same person. It's just that now you're more grounded in who you are at a soul level, rather than in this, I have to keep myself small because of people pleasing, or because of feeling like you didn't have a right to let yourself be seen or heard, or, you know, letting people experience the real you. And I actually really love that you chose the red jasper, because red jasper is a very grounding stone. It's also a stone of protection. And I feel like you've realized through all of this that the only way that you were going to feel like you belonged was if you chose to belong. But that had to come from grounding yourself and freeing yourself from, with this Queen of Swords, a cage that maybe you put yourself in. Right? Look at the hands here. They're stuck together and imprisoned at the bottom of these bars. It's a very sharp energy, stuck by the illusions in the mind, or not seeing clearly from the illusions in the mind. This is a very sharp energy, though. It's like very harsh. And I feel like at one point you were very harsh with yourself, and thus maybe attracting people to you that were very harsh with you. And now you're come to this, seeing all this all your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections, 'cause all of me loves all of you, right? And I feel like that's where you're at now. Like, you're seeing everything as a perfect extension of you, or a perfect part of you. Like, even the shadow, you're seeing it as a perfect part of you that gets a right to be expressed. And because of that, people are very attracted to you, and you also help them see the possibility of blending and integrating the light and the dark, the shadow and the light. You're not in this energy of like you can only choose one or the other. You're helping others see that there's a possibility to embrace both as a whole. And that makes you who you are and as you are. And this is something that, this is actually why you're so attractive. What else would you like to say today, Source? Why is pile number 3, excuse me, why is pile number 3 so attractive? Whoa, okay. So we've got South Node, destined to release, and the 8th house with transformation, karma, facing fears, and legacies. So you've let go of a lot of your karmic debt. You've faced a lot of your fears, and people have watched you do that. And I feel like a lot of those fears actually were people that you had to face head on and people that you didn't know that you could. And now you're encouraging others to stand up for themselves, maybe in situations with bullies or with narcissists or sociopaths. Like, you're helping others find their voice. And that's such a powerful place to be at. We got 9th house. Yeah, spiritual growth. But you see with all these birds up here, you're seeing it from a very high perspective. You're seeing it from a perspective of love. Like, no matter how a person shows up, it's not our right to sit here and judge them harshly. But it doesn't mean that just because we're coming from a place of love that we roll over and let bullies have their way. And I feel like that's something that you help others see. It's okay to come from a place of unconditional love. But it's also recognizing that my unconditional love, I accept you as you are, but just because I accept you and love you as you are doesn't mean that I invite you into my energy and let you get away with whatever it is, right? I can say no, and I can set a solid boundary with you, and I can love you from a distance and leave you to your own journey. And showing that to others gives them something new to see life from, right? We have perseverance. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. How strong you are, how you've overcome this. Didn't I say that? Like, getting knocked down. Like, I get knocked down, but I get up again. Yeah, your perseverance is what makes you so attractive. Thank you, Source, for that confirmation. Yeah, and your friendship. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. I feel like you see everybody as having brought very valuable lessons to you, very valuable information that you can grow from. And some people have been here for a while and some people haven't. And I feel like for many of you in pile 3, you haven't had people that have been very consistent in your journey. And so you're recognizing that that's okay. That doesn't mean that there's not going to be a person who's going to be consistent. I'm open to that. I'm open to receiving that. And that's another thing that makes you so attractive, is because you're not letting the past become the future by allowing it to affect your present. We have cold therapy flying out of this desk. Have you tried the Wim Hof method? And this is a cold plunge. If you don't know who he is, you can definitely check him out. He does cold plunges in the Arctic and stuff. A lot of people, that's where like cold plunging all of a sudden became trending because of him. And he talks about the benefits of it, but it's a huge shock to the system. Right? And I feel like with it being 53 and number 8, it's like you're letting go of karmic patterns, karmic relationships, and all of that. So yeah, look, healing with 17, look, number 8 again on with 17. You can heal yourself with your thoughts or make yourself sick. So you shocked everybody by your healing. No one thought you were going to heal, or people who have benefited from you being unhealed, they never thought you were going to heal, and that's what's making you so attractive. Because other people are seeing how powerful you are. And not only that, but pile 3, you're seeing how powerful you are. And that's strong. When you understand and recognize your worth, that's the most attractive thing that anybody can do in their life, is to see and recognize their own worth. But I do feel like there's a lot of people here who didn't think that you would ever heal, and you're shocking people because of your healing. People who had ties on you. Oh, hugs. If you give a hug, you get a hug, and that's the best medicine if you're having a bad day. Why do I feel like you're a hugger? Because of this card, it's telling me you're a hugger. You're a hugger, or you just need a hug. Pile number 3, and here you go. Oh, here you go. Here's my energy hug to you. Oh, nice and tight now. Some love for you. Okay. There's a big energy hug. What's coming through? Things are finally looking up. The worst is behind you, so look forward to a much happier life. You've been through it. You've been through it, and you didn't let it knock you down. You know, you're still a beautiful energy. You're still a beautiful person. You're still a kind and loving soul. For someone to experience so much in life and not let that become the reason that they're cold and that they're harsh and that they're cruel, I feel like there's a lot of people here who wanted to see you become harsh and cruel, and you never did. Like, no matter what people did to you. And I feel like there's some really messed up things that people did to you. We have the void of course. Ask again later. Yeah, you had to continue to focus on yourself. And there were many times when it was like, well, is this a person for me? Is this a person for me? I feel like there were many times when you were asking if somebody is for you. And you had to come into this place of recognizing that instead of me asking or hoping or praying that these are the people for me, you had to like disassociate yourself from that outcome or disconnect yourself from that outcome and open up to the potential. Like the people who want me are going to come into my life and they're going to be there for me. We have Libra here, finding your balance. Yeah. And that helped you come into this space of balance. You're balancing out your energy, balancing out your life. Source is helping to balance things out as well for you. You know, sometimes it just takes a while for that to come through. We have Earth, stay grounded. I could not make this up. We were talking about getting grounded. And the red jasper is a grounding stone. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Source. Thank you so much for that confirmation. I love that. I love it. All right, what else? Why is pile 3 attractive, Source? What would you like to tell them? Okay, I'm feeling this one. I feel like for you, pile 3, there's one more. I only got one of these for everyone. If you don't tell, I won't tell. So I'm obviously not going to go back and record again everyone else's. But I do feel like there's one more that wants to come out for you. All right, Source. What else would you like to tell pile number 3? You obviously want one more of these to come out. So what is it? Okay. Guess it's those ones. I'll put that one on the bottom. We've got comfort. Yeah. You're a very comforting soul. What's underneath that? Magic. You're just so unique. There's so much about you, pile 3, that's just so different from anyone. And you have helped people believe in magic again. You've helped people believe that you can find comfort with the things that you've gone through and content in life again. And that's so powerful. Look, Aquarius energy. I'm not surprised it came out. Originality, philanthropy, and progressive imaginings. You definitely had to detach yourself from the way that things had happened before. Look at that. We have the 3 of Swords underneath that with isolation. The 7 of Wands underneath that with stress. In the Tarot Marseille, the 3 of Swords is talking about getting divine intervention, and the 7 of Wands, I can't make this up, is perseverance, and we got perseverance here. But we see in the Osho Zen that there was a lot of isolation, a lot of suppression, a lot of stress, a lot of hardships. Look, people trying to sabotage your efforts here with this monkey trying to pop the balloon that this guy is performing on and getting a big old kick out of it, like, haha, this is gonna be funny, right? I'm sorry, that is not funny. Playing with people's emotions is not funny, but some people, they don't recognize the recourse, is that the right word? The recourse for their actions. And so, or the consequences of their actions, they don't recognize that, nor do they care to look at it. And I apologize that you're the one to go through that. That's not fair. Break the cycle. You are the light. You can stop intergenerational behaviors. You're stopping a lot from happening. You're clearing out a lot of your, like, again, that karma, but you're facing fears. You're facing things that were very difficult for you to face, like maybe that made you clam up. So like when people treated you a certain way, you always wanted to be able to speak your truth to them. You always wanted to be able to set boundaries, but maybe you just clammed up because you didn't have those tools. And what makes you attractive is that now you have those tools and you're still not mean about it. Like, no matter how another person showed up in your life, this could have been the worst of the worst of the worst. You may be direct, you may be blunt, but you're not rude, you're not mean, and you're not a bully. Even though most people feel like you have every right to be, you're still not. You're still not. Why? Because you're an immensely beautiful soul. Balance. Again, balance. We have balance here. So you're very balanced now. And that's what makes you so attractive. Creativity. Yeah, you're a very creative person. And you trust your creativity. And you follow that inspiration. And mystery. Oh my gosh, yes. I love all the cards that came out for you, pile 3. You're magic, you're comfortable, you're mystery, you're creative, you're balanced. Like, you're a walking conundrum that everybody wants in their life. Go you. Go you. I'm so proud of you, pile 3. It's been a rough journey. The things are looking up. Okay? So let's take a look at what your card is. I'm going to read this from the book. Yes. I love this for you. I love this. The shark. What a powerful energy. See, that's the thing. Like, you could tear people up if you wanted to, but you just never have that in you. You just don't. It's not like, it doesn't matter. It's like someone could have been the worst of the worst of the worst, and yet you still don't have that in you to tear them up, but you will expose them. Right? Look at this. Directness. And you'll still be blunt. And you'll still be blunt, but you're not going to do the same thing they did to you. And that makes you so attractive. Oh my gosh, that is so attractive. We have directness, exposure. Look at this. Revealing true nature and desire. Also, you reveal the true nature of others. The shark is only dangerous when we don't acknowledge it. This card indicates that something big needs to be exposed. It's lurking in the depths and creating tension. Shark energy takes over us when we are hesitant to be honest, to be totally ourselves, or to say what we really want. It may be tempting to continue pretending nothing is wrong, but when shark energy is at play, we feel its presence encircling us. Wasn't I saying that like it was really hard for you to say something before, but maybe you clammed up when people were mean to you and you really wanted to say something, but it just like you couldn't, and now you do, but you're still not mean about it. When in balance, you're intriguing, captivating, and mysterious. I love this confirmation. Thank you so much, Source. When out of balance, it's sneaky and destructive. To bring into balance, honesty. And you've done that. You brought it into balance. And now, like, that's the thing. You could expose some people for some really bad things that they did to you, but I feel like more or less you kept it between you and them. And whatever they did behind closed doors or whatever they chose to tell others, that's between them and those other people. Like, you're more about expressing yourself honestly than it is about trying this whole, I'm going to get you involved in some sort of scandal. That's not what you're about. But that's what also makes you mysterious, is because you say what needs to be said. You'll say a situation if it comes up. You may share that with others, but you're not sharing who it is. That makes you mysterious, right? Because you're not laying all your cards out on the table. Although you might not look at it that way, pile 3. You might be like, I'm a complete open book. Like, what are you talking about? But you appear mysterious to others. It wouldn't surprise me if you have Scorpio aspects, highly aspect in your chart. Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Scorpio in the 11th house. Uranus in Scorpio. I heard Uranus retrograde for some reason. So you could also have Pluto retrograde on your chart as well. Okay, yeah, so we're going to leave it there. This is what I see for you. If you felt like this was your reading, pile number 3, leave the little shark emoji down below and say, I have a right to speak my honest truth, knowing that I can still bring my true compassionate heart to the situation as well. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. If you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member here on the channel. And with that, I do want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this incredibly powerful message. And until next time, pile number 3, stay human. Bye.